Hey guys, this is Billy from AdultCello.com, and today I want to help you figure out if you're ready to start working on vibrato. So I've designed a little video questionnaire here that covers 3 essential skills that ideally you want to be pretty comfortable with before you dive in. The question of whether to start vibrato or not is a super common one. I get it all the time because it's just one of those elements of cello playing, and I remember not being able to vibrate yet and just thinking like, gosh, am I even a cellist if I can't make a good vibrato sound? It just feels like something that needs to happen as soon as possible. So that's why I designed this super easy, quick questionnaire to help you figure out if now's the time. All right, so question 1, does this feel comfortable to do? Okay, so what we're gonna do is a little bow hand / left hand independence exercise. I'm just going to walk you through it and then you can give it a try and see how it feels. What I'm going to do is kind of hook my second finger on the inside of the string and just move up and down like I'm shifting between 2 hand positions and just moving pretty rapidly, okay? Don't expect this to sound great. And then what I'm going to do with my bow is move the bow very slowly. So quick left hand, slow bow hand. Okay, so it sounds atrocious, but the point is, give it a shot. When I first tried doing that, the minute my left hand started moving vigorously, my bow hand just took off. It's like they just felt totally connected together, and I couldn't move this hand quickly and still use the bow hand slowly. So the reason that's important is that you need to have developed, in my opinion, a degree of independence between the 2 hands already, because as you're working on the vibrato motions and you're starting to put it together with the bow, you want the bow to just kind of do its thing without being influenced by, what you're doing with the left hand. Question number 2 is, are you comfortable playing slurred passages? Okay, this is related to question 1 in terms of having independence of the hands. We'll just do a quick little exercise. All right, so we're going to play on the D string in first position. We'll play 1, 4, 3, 4. So that's E, G, F sharp, G. And first we'll play it with separate bow strokes. Okay, so try that a couple times. Now, let's go ahead and do the same exact notes, but we're going to slur 2 and 2. Great, and then go ahead and try now slurring all 4 together. Okay, so how did that feel? If you can do it, but it feels drastically more difficult to slur all 4 notes together versus playing them as separate bows, that might be kind of a red flag. There's room to build a little more independence between the 2 hands before starting in on vibrato. The reason why this independence is so important is, once again, as you're working on the vibrato and this kind of the new motion in the left hand, you need the right hand to basically stay as unaffected as possible by what you're now doing in the left hand. It seems a little contradictory at first, but you actually have to build a lot of independence between the 2 hands so that they can actually work together well. Okay, so the slurring is an example of being able to keep the right hand moving steady and kind of undisturbed while you change fingers with the left hand. And as you notice, if you're not changing tempo or anything, the more notes you're slurring, you're going to have to start moving the bow slower and slower. It's these little adjustments that you kind of basically get used to doing that will serve you greatly as you try to put vibrato together with the bow. So finally, question number 3, are you comfortable shifting in the lower neck positions? Okay, if so, then that's great. If you're not sure if you are, let's just do a little exercise. Start on the A string, we'll be in first position, second finger on C, and you just shift to the D, so into second position, and you can do that all on one bow, so slurred bowing. So why is it important to be able to shift in the lower neck positions? Basically, when you're accomplishing shifts in the lower neck positions, the forearm will be moving in a manner similar to a vibrato motion. And what's really important is as you are getting more and more comfortable shifting in these lower neck positions, you're also hopefully getting used to shifting and moving your hand back and forth into different positions with little excess physical tension, okay? So that's pretty much the big takeaway there, because as you learn the vibrato motions and you eventually start pumping your arm at the speed it needs to be going at in order to sound like a rich, juicy vibrato that you want to hear, any amount of extra physical tension will instantly narrow and decrease and maybe completely erase any vibrato you would be hearing, because it'll just tighten up and be that kind of hummingbird vibrato. So the more comfortable you are shifting, then when you go to do kind of a vibrato motion, you've already got kind of a ballpark motion that you've practiced. All right, so there's the questionnaire, and congrats if you have gone through it and you feel ready to start vibrato. Go ahead, you can click right there, and that's my video. It's got the first 4 steps that I would teach vibrato in a very targeted way to adult learners to minimize tension and build in the right motions. Okay, so you can check that out right there. So I just want to be clear, I'm not trying to tell you when to do vibrato or anything like that, but I should warn you that if you start too early, it's just very easy to build either, kind of bad technique or building in a lot of excess physical tension, and those things can be very time consuming and pretty annoying. I can tell you from firsthand experience, they can be pretty annoying to have to undo and then relearn the right way. And just a final piece of advice, if you went through the questionnaire and this thing just felt like a total cakewalk, please just be very patient as you continue working on vibrato and you start building the steps. It's so easy for physical tension to kind of creep in, especially as we're starting to use our hand and our finger joints and our arm in ways that we haven't used before. And just the smallest bit of physical tension will drastically decrease your ability to vibrate beautifully and make the sound you want to hear. So patience is the name of the game. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you found it helpful at all, please consider subscribing to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. See you next week.